Good afternoon, everyone. This is Andy Ritter, and we have a big meeting today, so let's go. I might add, if you have your camera on or your microphone on, please turn off your camera and please mute your microphone. And let's go. So a number of company updates for those in Columbus. Just a reminder that the Columbus Zoo will be the location of our family picnic on August 6th. That's right around the corner. Please be sure to contact Human Resources before or no later than July 20th in order to get your tickets. We are not setting up separate distribution points or times. Just contact directly to HR. Additional guests are $30 each, limit 5. So it's going to be a great event. Do not delay. Get your tickets now. As a reminder, we are having on Friday, September 16th, our 60th anniversary celebration. It was delayed a year. This is actually 61 years this year, but because of COVID, it was delayed. So it's great that we get a chance to have this celebration. Please remember, if you have not already, there was an RSVP invitation sent to everyone's email. Please make sure that you respond to that. We do need to get an accurate count of who will be here. And if you are bringing a guest. In addition, be seated by 11 a.m. Registration welcome starts at 10, but you need to have a seat by 11. And dress is business casual. So stay tuned for more. But please make sure you get those RSVPs in right away. Starting in July, just a couple of weeks ago, we began a new learning platform for us. It is our new LMS, our learning management system. It is a lot easier to use. We think people will find it much better, and soon we will be able to allow managers to be able to get in and schedule training and track training in real time, because now it is based in Paycor as opposed to a separate alternative third party that we were using before. There is more to come on this, including information on how to use the various features. But if you want to get in and play around with it, it is available now. Keep in
Andy, I think you're muted.
May have lost audio.
Share, can you get to? Hi, everybody. This is Andy Ritter again. I hope you can hear me. My computer just went to the blue screen of death. And unfortunately,
we can hear you, Andy.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm on
Yes.
somebody else's computer. At this point, I will see. I don't think there's anything I can do until I can get my screen back. So please bear with me. Do not leave. Believe it or not, I was going to lead with this is a jam-packed presentation with more slides than we've ever had before. So we have no time for this. However, we will make do. So please bear with me, and we'll be back online in just a moment. Thanks.
Amber, are you online? Amber? Maybe not. I'm trying to think of somebody else who's on the agenda.
I can go, I guess. Let me get my slides
Yeah,
open.
do you have your slides and maybe you can just show your screen and share it?
Yeah, let me,
Yeah, why don't you do that while Andy's trying to fix this IT situation?
all right. Can you see my slides?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So this is Cheryl Hayter, Benefits Manager here. So a few benefit items to discuss today. As a reminder, we have 4 requirements in order to qualify for our 2023 Healthy Focus Premium discount. So our first item that we have listed is to complete your biometric screening. Reminder, this is kind of new because we're with Marquee Health this year instead of Rally, so it's a little different. But the biometric screening is similar, but you have through Marquee. You can do an annual physical with your physician or go to a local lab. To do that, you just look at Marquee Health. You create your account, you print your form, you take it with you to either the physician or the lab, and get that taken care of, and then you send it into Marquee Health. That has to be sent into Marquee by September 30th. We are going to have on-site screening. So if you're in Columbus or Pell City, we're working on the final dates. We're planning in August, a couple days in August, and then in Columbus 1 day in September. So eye out for soon for announcement for sign up for that as well. So those are your 3 options to get your biometric screening completed. Then number 2, by October 31st, this is a brand new item with Marquee Health. They have health coaching. So we, by October 31st, once you have your biometric screening done, you can call Marquee Health and have that discussion with them. It's about a 15-minute call. They go over your results. Again, this is a new event and is a requirement. We've had some people, just as a reminder, that have done their biometric screening, but they haven't had their call. So if you've done that, you might want to add that to your list. It's going to come around sooner rather than later. And the third item to complete is the online health risk assessment by October 31st. You can do that anytime now in October 31st. So you could get that one checked off. And then the 4th item is to complete the tobacco-free affidavit or the YouBreathe coaching program. For the tobacco, if you want to complete the YouBreathe coaching program, keep in mind that while it's due by October 31st, you need to start the program before September 16th in order to get through it by October 31st. Okay. Our other item to discuss benefit related for the healthcare verification audit, it is currently going on. We currently have 65% employees who have completed it. So we've got another 35% who have not. Friday, July 15th is the deadline to submit your documentation. So if you have a spouse or children enrolled in the medical, dental, or vision plans, you have to complete this. You do that directly with Consova. And you'll need your PIN number. If you don't know it, you can call Consova and they can give that to you. If you're not sure what the documentation is, this has been going on for a couple months now, but if you're not sure what documentation you need to provide, you can call Consova, you can go online, and certainly, I'm always here to answer any questions or if you have issues uploading your documents to their website. And that's all I have as benefits related. So there we go. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Cheryl. Amber, are you ready to?
Yeah, sure, I can go.
Thanks.
All right, let me just share my screen here. All right, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right, hello everyone. I'm Amber and I'm here to present on the Allied Improvement Money Program. It's also called AIM. So some of you might have heard of this program or even participated in the past, but we have made some changes to the program in response to the feedback we received from the survey. And also, if you're newer to Allied, this program has been on hold during COVID, so this might be the first time you're hearing of it. So AIM is a program that is sponsored by our innovation group. And the idea is that since we're an employee-owned company, we want to make sure that every employee feels empowered to make a positive impact on our organization. So if there's something that you need to do your job better, or if you have an idea of how we can make things more efficient or safer, or increase our customer satisfaction, we want to support you by funding your idea. So keep in mind that this is not bonus money. Everything that we spend eventually affects our ESOP. So we really encourage you to think about what you're spending and how it will increase our value here at Allied. Now, I know the idea of coming up with an innovative idea can seem kind of intimidating, but really some of the best ideas are simple solutions to simple problems. So I just wanted to take a moment and share some of the ideas that have been funded in the past. So up at the top left, we'll start there. So that's just a broom and dustpan. Obviously very inexpensive, but makes a big impact for cleanliness in the working environment and could even impact safety if there were, dust or things like that that might make the floor slippery. In the second picture, someone had chosen to purchase some power tools using the AIM funds. So that is something that can make the job much more efficient or safer for the employees. And then we have an ergonomic keyboard and mouse. So ergonomics or things that we can do to make, to improve the physical aspect of our jobs that can cause kind of a physical toll on us are great options to do for the AIM program. And then all the way on the right, something as simple as a wall clock can be a huge improvement to efficiency, especially if you're working on a time process and you need to check the time. Just getting a wall clock in a location could be a big improvement that can help. And then on the bottom left, some employees have used AIM money to purchase stand-up desks, which are something that improves overall employee health. And then last but not least, an employee has chosen to purchase some safety glasses. So if you have safety ideas or ideas of how you can make the environment better, those are great options for AIM. But what if you have a big idea, something that costs $1,000? Well, in the past, we've always had this option where you can pool your money, and we're going to continue that. So what pooling your money means is, for example, if you see the rolling carts on the first picture, if you have an idea that's, let's say, $500, you have $100, and if you are able to find 4 other employees that would like to support your idea, and you'll write their names down on the application, and then we'll combine all of the funds that you all have for $500 and purchase the item. So you can still do it that way. But the next thing that we're adding this year is we want to give people the opportunity, if they have a big idea and are not able to find enough people to support their idea themselves, we're going to have a fundraiser campaign after the AIM campaign has closed. So just briefly, I want to share with you a little bit about the fundraiser campaign. So that's going to start in October. We're definitely going to talk about this a bit more closer to the date, but the idea is we still want you to submit your ideas that are bigger. And then for those people that have either a remaining balance or they didn't submit their own idea, if you still want to support someone else's idea, you'll have the opportunity to donate your funds to another great idea that someone else has submitted. Interested in participating, and I hope you are. We're of course going to still have the paper forms, but something that's new this year is we have created an ideas portal that is going to be on Microsoft Teams. So right now you already should see this team. It's called AMP Ideas and Innovation. And in order to submit a form, all you'll need to do is head over to that team and then go to the Ideas tab. On that tab, you'll see our campaign. You'll click on it, click submit an idea, and then you'll be able to fill out this form. You can fill out the form and then add an image if you'd like, and then click submit, and that's how you submit your form. This is a big benefit for us because it saves a lot of the administrative time for typing up the paper forms. And the other great thing about this is you'll be able to see other people's ideas that they submitted. So a lot of people mentioned that they'd like to see what other people are submitting so they can get ideas for themselves. So this is an area where you can go and see all the ideas that have been submitted and also submit your own. But if you don't have access to a computer and you still like to use the paper forms, you can get them from the people listed below. So if you're in the Columbus office, you can reach out to Janice Taylor or your team leaders if you're here in Columbus. And then at Pell City and Brownsville, Tracy and Magda both have the paper forms that you can get from them. You can also reach out to me on email and I can email it to you, although I can't hand it to you in person. So I know you're probably wondering what the catch is, and we really try with this program to not make a lot of rules, because the idea of this is we want to trust you as employee owners to make a decision that's responsible for what you'd like to submit for your ideas. But that being said, we do have some rules of what we might reject if you submit an idea. So of course, all purchases have to abide by our employee handbook. So you can't put something that's offensive or political. We won't fund that. And then as far as categories of different types of items, we don't approve any decorations or clothing. Those are excluded from this program. And then all of the ideas will be reviewed for safety purposes. So of course, you might have a great idea, but if it's going to make our work environment unsafe, we won't be able to approve it. And then the last part is in the past, I know we've allowed you to purchase from Home Depot or Walmart or wherever you find the item. This year, all of the purchases must be made on Amazon, just because of the way that our purchasing is set up. Amazon has pretty much everything, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out. And then you might have heard this phrase kind of sprinkled in where I'm saying all eligible employees. The only people that are not eligible are managers and above, and those who are not physically at the Columbus, Pell City, and Brownsville locations. If you do have any questions about your eligibility status, you can feel free to reach out to me or Andy Ritter to ask about that. But most employees, again, if you're a non-manager AMP employee, you should be eligible to participate. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Amber. This is Andy Ritter. I am back, and I want to thank Amber for jumping in and doing that, and thank Cheryl for jumping in and doing it as well while I was getting back up into the network. So the last thing to mention where we left off on the learning management system is simply that this learning management system is housed in Paycor. You simply need to use your Paycor ID in order to get in. You can get there directly through the Paycor site. Just click under me and you'll see learning management system as an option. You can get there through the SharePoint link, as you can see the example there under resources. And you can also get there through the intranet link. And there is a desktop icon on everyone's desktop as well that you can get in there. So get in there, tool around, see what you think. More information coming up on that. We're excited about the beginning of this activity. And then as a reminder to those who are eligible to receive the temporary gas supplement, the first payment of that is going to be tomorrow, and that'll show up under the code TGS on your pay stub. And a reminder that this is not guaranteed every month. This was done in the month of July, the month of June, paid in July. For the month of June, we are watching the gas prices to see if we will pay it in July or any other month, and this is on a month-by-month basis. So we have a number of employees that were informed in June, just late last month, that they were fully vested, which means that they had 1,000 hours in for the last 6 years of the fiscal years. And so they became fully vested as a result of becoming fully vested in the ESOP. Not only are they at 100% vesting, They received a note and a congratulations from Todd Henry. And if you are one of those folks and you haven't seen Todd, he is hunting you down. And also, we started this last year. Once you become vested, you get a free item, a free logoed item out of the Allied store. So real quick, I know we're running short on time. I do want to recognize those individuals, and I'll just quickly go through there. So congratulations to Dan Anderson. Congratulations to Yogi on second shift, or on weekend shift, excuse me. Second shift. Congratulations to Del Bush in QA. Congratulations to Austin Crabtree and to Austin's father, David Crabtree. Both became vested. Congratulations to Colin Deffett in industrial sales. Congratulations to Brooke DiNardo and to Carlos Montano, to Nathan Hedges in QA, to Ryan Hershey in R&D, to Dee Dee Kret in accounting and finance, to Matt Lobbin in industrial sales, and to Concom in the material handler on weekend shift, and to Fumi. Congratulations to Fumi. And Veronica Montano, Carlos's mother, also became vested, and to Vincent Montgomery. Congratulations to Vincent, and to we call him Roy Park, out in South Korea, one of our sales employees, and to Jesse Parks, no relation to Roy Park. Jesse Parks here in Columbus in IT. Congratulations to Justin Richards in shipping and receiving. And to Matt Valance in EHS. Congratulations to all of you. And then very quickly, we've been through these. Let us now move to how our products are used. Brad McCorkle, Brett Spakowski, Tony DeSea are going to be giving us a really good overview of where our products are used. I'm going to stop presenting and turn this over to Brad.
Thanks, Andy. Afternoon, everyone. Andy, do I need to share my screen or do you pull it up?
Yeah, you can share your screen, or I can just click on this one if you want. It's up to you.
Nope, we got it. See my screen all right?
Yep.
Good deal. Good afternoon. I'm just going to go through some of the shapes that we've sold and shipped out of here over the last 3 to 6 months around the world. Just remember, everything you see here could be company confidential. We have some non-disclosure agreements with many customers. So if you want to share or talk about any of these, just get a hold of sales and we'll give you some guidance. The first shapes we're going to look at is from the Precast Shapes facility in Europe, in the Netherlands. These are curb blocks, which are used for minerals processing applications, made with Tough Flow 65M. These also have a 2% 304 stainless steel needle addition. There were several different shapes, total of 14 different shapes in this system that they made and sold. They used all wooden molds. They did use one mold that would make multiple different shapes. So it's just a way to cut down on the cost to our customers. And there's some more of the shapes in the whole system. Here in Columbus, we make some what we call casting chutes, which is a chute that is used in a horizontal centrifugal casting machine. These go out to Pac States out in Utah, where they make pipe for both water and sanitary uses. On the right there is a machine similar to what they're using. These pieces are used just to pour the metal into the horizontal caster. Some shapes that we've been doing for quite a while now, probably for about 10 years or so, is for a company up in Toledo called GlassTech. GlassTech is a company that makes ovens for bending and tempering glass for the automotive industry. These units have plate glass that go into them, and then they will go through a heating process where they're then molded into uses for like windshields, backlights in your car, sunroofs, you can pretty much name it. Iron trough retainer shapes. These are shapes that we've been making for several years in our trough systems that go into the steel mill. These are typically used as a retaining shape in a blast furnace trough where they are creating a separation between the working lining of the blast furnace and the dry vibe safety lining that goes behind it. Similar to a blast furnace, but on a much smaller scale, is a cupola that's used in a lot of iron foundries. For those applications, we make what they call a cupola wing and breast block. These are shapes that are lined, used to line the bottom part of the cupola section. They're a molten metal contact shape, and they're used for lining the wells in the cupolas. These are made with cast with Metal Cast GS. In China, we do a lot of shapes for aluminum. Here is a shape for it's a protective sheath for an aluminum liquid conveyor pipe. These are made with ArmorMax 70 SR, which is one of our high needle mixes. Also in China is a mold for making copper alloy rings in an induction furnace. This one is made with QuickCast 62. Also in aluminum, QuickCast 80 SC Fine is used in making the outlet box shapes for an aluminum die casting furnace. Here is a shape that they use MatriCast 82 SIC to manufacture. This is a 3-ton crucible shape for a gas-fired heating furnace. And I think this is the last one for the CPR plant, is a low-pressure pouring machine for aluminum, where they're using Matriflow 878 ACX. Our plant in South Africa, AMSA, had some really good projects here recently. This is shapes for an aluminum upper door lintel made with ArmorMax 870 SR. They use styrofoam molds to make these shapes, and these shapes go in an aluminum reverb furnace where they're used in the door surround here that is used when the door closes. It's used to help make the seal up against the door. Some of these were also made with Metal Rock 70 MZA. Another really good project that they did in South Africa, and one that we're actually quoting a very similar project for here, is ceramic burner shapes for a blast furnace stove. These particular shapes are made with the LCR 798, which is an andalusite mix, and also shape 685. There was a bunch of different shapes that went into this project, 43 different shapes total, for a total of 824 shapes that went into the entire project. It's kind of a Lego system. When they put it all together, what it does is it forms the burner system in what they call a blast furnace stove, which is an application where they're basically heating the blast that goes into the blast furnace. Here's more layers of the system. There was a total of 5 courses with 38 to 42 shapes in each course. Here's a diagram of a blast furnace. The stove is kind of separate from the blast furnace, and the shapes that I'm talking about are in the bottom section of that stove. Down in Pell City, we're making some precast shapes out of the Alicast 65 LCM. These go into a tundish bowl or an impact pad that goes into the bottom of a casting tundish at an electric arc furnace shop. This here is the tundish that I'm talking about. And what these do is when they go in the bottom of the tundish, they go right underneath the molten metal stream here. In this picture here, you can see the molten metal stream coming in. And what they're used for is to try and quell the turbulence that is created in the metal, so that the strands coming out the bottom of the tundish are very calm and fluid. We do a lot of precast ladles at all of our plants. Pell City, this is a precast ladle for one of the Caterpillar plants made with Metal Cast 70. These are used to line the ladles. They'll set the shape into the ladle with a little bit of dry vibe on the bottom, some dry vibe around the outside, and then they're preheated and used as opposed to casting the materials in place. Here's another shape from Pell City. This was a door arch opening that went into a pusher style furnace, which is a reheat furnace in an electric arc furnace shop. These are basically an arch that go above the side door on these furnaces where the material is going into the furnace to be heat treated. These particular shapes were made with the ArmorMax 70 SR. Also in Pell City, we do some cast in place or cast in shell applications. This particular application is a pressure pour furnace that we do for a company in Amarillo, Texas. This particular furnace is cast with VCast 707. We will cast it in place. There's some brick that go behind it that's installed, and then we will dry it out before sending it back to the customer. These furnaces, the way they operate is you'll have a molten metal bath in the furnace, and then there's pressure that comes in from the top that will push the metal up into the spout and receiver for pouring over top of what's pretty commonly a diesel line in the industry. And that's all we have for precast shapes.
Brett, it's all yours.
Brett, if you're speaking, you might be muted.
There we go. Is that better?
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, today I'm going to talk about where some of our products are used in the aluminum industry. The furnaces that we supply in the aluminum industry, we have stationary furnaces, we have top charge furnaces, tilting furnaces, stack melters, electric furnaces. We do heated transfer launder systems and ladles. This here is a tilting top charge furnace. Actually, the company that made this, Thorpe Technologies, was bought by a good customer of ours, Gillespie and Powers, that we do quite a bit of business with throughout the year. The blue furnaces is an electric furnace. This area right here is they have electric, it heats electrically rather than using gas. And this is a very small stack melter. They range in size, but the metal comes up, it pours down a stack and is preheated and then melted and then feeds into a holding chamber. This is a typical reverb furnace you'll see. It's uses natural gas to melt the aluminum and keep it hot. Right here off this large stack melter, this is what we call a heated launder system. And a lot of small aluminum plants, it basically acts as a holder. It feeds the metal from the melting furnace to where they actually cast the aluminum parts. This is a small ladle. This is a Schaefer furnace ladle. We do quite a bit of business with Schaefer. We have for about the last 20 years. This is lined with our QuickCast 61 ACX. To give you some idea of the volume of material that's used in these furnaces, this is what they call it. This is a top charge furnace at Arconic in Tennessee. And, you know, we have 200 tons of material just used in the upper and lower walls. That doesn't include material that's used in the bottom of the furnace, which is called the hearth, or the roof. Here's a standard stationary reverb furnace. This furnace alone, we lined all the what they call metal contact, anything in contact with molten aluminum, was over 150 tons of material. So when you see these large volumes go through the plant, this is where it goes. Another very popular product of ours is QuickFire 88. And this product is used to veneer over existing linings or cast a complete lining. That's another very popular product and a value-added product we sell, make a nice margin. A sister product to the QuickFire 88 is our QuickFire 85G. This is Gund. This is a large top charge furnace in Tennessee. You can see up here before they've done all the gunning, you can see how well that material repairs it. It basically gives you a new lining to operate on. And we extend the furnace life by up to 2-3 years by using these products. They stick very well to the old lining. easy to install. And again, it's a very, very profitable business for Allied. This is another large furnace. This furnace actually is they call it can wreck furnace, where they bring in all the used beverage cans and remelt those. It's becoming extremely popular. Novelis, which is a large aluminum company, has a company philosophy. They continually try to increase how much recycled aluminum they use. They do what they call closed loop with Ford Motor Company. They will send them aluminum sheet, and then any of the byproduct after they make different auto parts, they send back and it's remelted and continues to go. Stay within that. Stay within the two companies. But this is our Matrix Flow 93 AC. You'll see a lot of this material go through the plant. Right here, you're probably talking about 125 tons of material that just went into that where the arrows point, the light brown area. One of our newest products we have is called Ready Gun. We make a lot of plastics where you use an air rammer to ram them in place. That's becoming less and less popular because it's very hard on the individual installing it. And when you deal with the large companies such as Alcoa, Arconic, Novelis, they're people, they don't want anybody having to ram plastic. So this is granular. People in the plant will know that it's very granular. It shoots through those hose, and it's similar to like the quick fire in a sense. It's phosphonate, but it's a much easier. It's no adding liquid. It's becoming very popular. It's working very well against our competitors. And we had one job just recently where we put about 25 tons of this in a brand new furnace for Gillespie and Powers. This is a smaller furnace, more in the die cast market. You have different products used, some different products used. This is Matrix Pump 72 ACX. And this wall here and in the hearth, and also down here in the lower walls. Some of the other products we sell, MatriCast 31 density and a roof. These are the burners that actually heat the metal on what they call a dry hearth right here, and it flows through into holding part of the furnace. We do QuickCast 62 in the jams, and that's our MatriFos 85 AC plastic. The big drivers for aluminum are automotive. I mean, Ford being the first to go to an all aluminum body. That's driving demand. This is aluminum sheet that that's used by the automotive manufacturers. Some of the new products that are being used now, Ball Corporation, which is doing a lot of expansion, they've come out with the aluminum cup. And what makes this so popular is that aluminum is very easy to recycle. You take it, you shred it, it goes through what they call a delacquer to get paint or whatever off the can, and then it goes right into the melt furnace. So this is driving demand. You're going to see more and more water in aluminum bottles. You already see quite a bit of beer packaged this way, but there was a big push before COVID, and I see this is going to start growing even more and more. And this is a little bit of sequence here. This is an aluminum billet. This is where it all starts to get to the can stock to make those products. One of our big customers in aluminum is Pyrotech. They make a lot of precast shapes for the aluminum market. This is one of the pieces of equipment they sell. This is what they call a sniff box. They precast this at a MatriCast 70 AC. It's a way to clean metal in these large plants. A very popular piece of equipment we do. We sell an awful lot of this material. This is another piece of equipment Pyrotech makes. They use our Matrixil LC, which is fused silica. It's called a lotus bowl. And what happens is it sits in the sidewall of a furnace, and your scrap goes in there, and it introduces it into the molten metal, so it's a more efficient way of melting than others. This right here, this is brand new furnace at Arconic, Tennessee Gillespie and Powers built. This is all metal rock precast around the door. Inside here is all the Ready Gun plastic, and then all the way around in the walls. Then the lower walls are a Major Flow 93 AC. So that project was, I think, probably one of the largest projects last year. Is about $620,000 furnace lining right there. So it's these projects are large and rather valuable. And this is, I mean, and we do not expect the aluminum business to slow down due to all this demand for the cans, the cups. We see demand continuing throughout the future. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much, Brett. Tony, if you want to go ahead and take control.
Yep, there we go, Andy. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony DeSaya. It's probably been about 2 years since I've been able to update everyone in our space efforts, and going to show you some different achievements we've made over the last year. Andy, I can't seem to, there we go.
There we go. I'll just go ahead and do it for you, Tony.
All right, thank you. So just to give everyone an idea of the type of products that we're using in the space effort, the Fondue Fire family of products, XB1, XB1G, which is a gunning material, Fondue Fire WA1, Fondue Fire WA1P, Tough Fire, and Tough Fire Pump. Want to thank all of the staff down at Pell City because this project that we did at Blue Origin was nearly 4.5 million pounds of material, and they produced all that product without a hitch. Really want to thank that team because it's helped us to carry our name further in this space market. Okay, Andy. So I wanted to give everyone, this is an aerial shot of Cape Canaveral, Florida, and the launch pad that we did, and it's almost been about a year ago, was Launch Pad 36. I don't know if you can see the number, it's near that little peak. That's where we performed the Blue Origin project. And you can see the number of different launch pads that they have here. I have another shot that you can really see how many pieces of equipment that they have out there to launch rockets. Next. There we go. There's an aerial shot. You can see every one of these cylindrical stages are launch pads. And right now, we finished Launch Pad 36. We are talking to SpaceX about Launch Pad 39, and also I believe it's Launch Pad 11. Next. This is an artistic aerial shot of Launch Pad 36, and you can see 2 towers on each side of the rocket itself. Most of our work was in the flame trench where you see this funnel area in front of the rocket, or I should say behind the rocket. The 2 towers, one is for delivering the astronauts into the module. The other launch pad is for prevention of lightning, etc. It's a grounding tower. I think both of them work in unison to do that. The other thing that's really interesting here, this water tower, I think, is the largest water tower in the world that's held that high. I don't recall the amount of seconds it takes, but to empty that water out of that tower into the launch, I think it's like less than a minute, if I'm not mistaken, but it's very, very big. Next. So I got some shots of the launch pad itself and what we were involved with. On the photo to the left, you can see the tower and you can see the concrete substructure into the flame trench. All of that was done with our fondue product. The picture in the middle is Tough Fire, and that was on the floor. The picture on the right, you can see the flaring walls. This is the north wall, the flaring walls of the flame trench. All of that was shotcreted with our material. And the floor, as I said, is the Tough Fire that we have in the middle picture. Next. This is an aerial picture, not an aerial picture, but a picture taken from way on top of the tower, looking down to the launch and the rocket platform. You can see to the right, top right of the picture, there's an opening there in that rectangular, I guess, square structure. That's where the rocket actually sits. And as you look down, you'll see a brown color, and that's a water box that I'll show you in another picture. But to the left of the this photograph, you can see a big, large deck. And that deck has our product down underneath it and partial on the top side of it. It's really big. Next. So this is that brown area that I was referring to, and it's the water-cooled insert. And you can see there's a gentleman in the bottom right-hand side of the photograph, and gives you a little size perspective of how big this thing is. That water box literally has water rushing down, not on the exterior, on the inside. It's kind of like a radiator. And that is where the initial thrust of the rocket takes place, and where they actually begin to bend the exhaust up and out of the flame trench. Next. This happens to be an order that we just got 2 days ago, and this was efforts of Colby Henderson and Matt Lambert and Alan Davis and Todd Hall. Anyway, this is a small launch device that small rockets are going to be launched, and they're mobilized. But we just received this order 2 days ago. Next. So on that launch pad that I just showed you, these are the type of rockets that will be shot on those launch devices. This is a Pegasus rocket, and a lot of satellites that have to be put into space quickly and mobilized into different parts of the Earth. They'll be using these types of devices to deploy those satellites. Next. This is a SpaceX rocket, and this was a test that was, first of all, the rocket was staged. This is Boca Chica down in Texas. And this is a SpaceX project. And some of you may have heard about this because just the other night, they tested this rocket. Next. This is referred to as a heavy lift rocket. This is that rocket I just showed you in the previous slide, but you can see there's 33, get the name of the rocket itself, but there's 33 of these rockets that are on this device. And it's for a heavy lift application. They're testing it to lift big payloads into space. By the way, those rocket names are Raptor. They're Raptor rockets, and there's 33 that you're looking at there. Next. So Andy, I'm gonna try to, I don't know if I can, if you hit this, hit the slide there. Okay, go back. Can you go back? So they tested this 2 days ago, and obviously they had a problem. From what I read, the rocket itself, they tried to light off 33 of those rockets all at one time, and this was the result. It wasn't favorable, so there was some damage there. And we'll look to get more business at SpaceX. We're just in the quoting process of some of the different projects that they have, but this is online. You could see this online. It was just uncanny that I had that in the presentation, and 2 days later they tested it, and they weren't successful, obviously. So when you hear about the space race, there are so many private sector companies that are jumping into this market, and these are just a few of the ones that we've worked with. Some of them we've supplied material to, others we're negotiating with. We've talked to companies in the UK, talking to a company in Norway, talking to another company in Sweden. We also made some discussion with a company in Australia. So it's like a global race right now. Next. That's all I had. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Brad. Guys, we really appreciate you putting these presentations together so that we can all get a much better idea of the results of everyone's collective hard work. That was great. We really appreciate that. Thanks again to Amber and for Cheryl for jumping in and showing some initiative when my screen went blank. Just another example of how we rely on each other to get our jobs done every day. So we are bringing this in on time. We had a lot of information there. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. And I hope, if nothing else today, besides being a little more informed about some of the things going on, not only in terms of activities upcoming that affect all employees, but also more informed about our products. I hope you also took away some real pride in what we do. I think it's just great to see our products in action and see how our products ultimately result in things we see every day and use every day, or in the case of space, maybe some things that we see on TV. So it's a good time to be at Allied, and it's nice to be associated with a company that can do the kinds of things that we do. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Take care.